back for another one of the Body By Fandom challenges that I'm doing. Today is an alternate day. I'm not going to be doing one of the comic book hero workouts. I'm actually going to do the bike because we had some family come up, and that changes things a little because now the room that I use to work out is a guest room right now. So I'm going to do this instead, and I'm going to try and talk about healthy decisions that you can make to change your just normal diet to, get into shape more easily. Alright, so some tips. Tip number 1, you're going to want to stop running in front of the camera. I know you're doing that consciously. Tip number 1, try and cut out all fast food that you can possibly. I know that there's a lot of temptation right now because we are doing this COVID stuff, and honestly I have seen more people at fast food during this time than I have at any other point ever. Yes, they're just going through the drive-thru, but because of how consistent of a line it is, it's a little ridiculous. If you make food at your own house, not only will it be healthier and better quality, but ultimately it's going to be a lot cheaper per meal. Yes, there is a little bit of investment when you are originally doing it, and I know that time can be a problem, but that is why you should meal plan, which is where you are going to go ahead and make all of your meals at the beginning of the week, and then you can just warm them up throughout, and it'll save you time and money by doing it that way. Number 2, try and cut out all complex snacks. Not all snacks, complex snacks. So things that have been processed and changed from their original form into another form. That being potato chips, snack bars, of course donuts, fried food, stuff like that. Pretty much if you can't tell just by looking at it what the plant that it originally looked like came from, then you shouldn't be eating it for a snack. Whew. This is harder than I thought, talking while doing this. But eating things that you can tell what they used to be is actually easier on your body to digest and process. Especially fruits. I know they're not quite as filling as most people like, and maybe not as tasty as what everybody likes, but they are better for you. For me, I don't really snack much, if ever, throughout the day. It's really just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and every once in a while I will have a snack in between. Now, honestly, it's pretty rare for me to do, and even at that, my breakfast is usually on the smaller side of what I'm going to eat throughout the day. And it's usually not for at least an hour into my already being awake that I eat it. And that's because it actually helps you to burn more calories that you have currently in your system. It also makes you secrete a chemical that used to be very vital in our survival back in the really old days when we were hunter-gatherers exclusively. And that chemical kind of boosts your intellect for a while. Helps you process your thoughts, be more aware of your surroundings. So it's actually a good thing to do some stuff before you eat so you can get advantage of that. Oof. Number 3, proteins versus carbs. Now, this is a principle that I was introduced to when I was around, I'm going to say like 9, 10 years old, because I was borderline type 2 diabetic at that time. I was, as the local Chinese restaurant put it, little Buddha. So when you're looking at your foods, especially processed things, you're going to want to compare the total amount of protein to the carbohydrates. As the general rule of thumb, if the carbohydrates are higher than the proteins, don't eat it. Don't do that. It's not going to help you at all. You're not getting any extra stuff to be able to rebuild your body after your normal daily routines, or if you're exercising. Yes, there are some sports that believe in carbo loading, but honestly, my experience with that is that it never helped me at all. And I did a lot of long distance running when I was younger. And I was competitive on a cross country team. The thing that I honestly found helped me the most, a big fat steak. And that's because it would help to repair what I've already done. Mind you, I always eat my steak being able to say "mrr" still. But it provides the proteins, the aminos that are needed to be able to repair your muscles and help you build your muscles. So carbo loading, in my opinion, even if there is scientific proof, it is a big hoax. And I wish that it would be stop being pushed quite so much. And I'm sure there's some people that get a benefit out of it. I've never experienced it. Maybe it's the body type I have. Who knows? All right, next one. You need to eat more bananas and pineapples. You need the bananas for potassium and magnesium, and you need the pineapples for bromelain. Now, in this country, almost everybody has a deficiency of potassium and magnesium. And what that will do is actually cause your muscles not only to adhere to themselves, but to go into spasm fits. So if you're having a spasm and you just can't figure out why, it's probably because you're drastically low on potassium. Now, magnesium is kind of like a natural relaxer. When I say that, I mean that it's going to help to relax your mind as well as your muscles. It'll actually help them to get back to a state of homeostasis with your own body much more quickly than if you don't have it. And the last one, bromelain. Bromelain is an interesting enzyme. It breaks down proteins. So every time you're eating a pineapple, it's trying to eat you. And when you get bromelain into your system, it will help to break down the proteins that you are bringing in and distribute them in a more easily, what's the word I'm looking for? More easily ingestible way. That's the easiest way I can say it right now. I'm losing some of my vocabulary doing this. So, Now on to proteins, meats. You should get rid of almost entirely red meats of all sorts and pork. They really aren't all that good for you. Like I said before, I would eat a nice big steak before going to a meet for cross country. Woof. And it helped a lot. And honestly, I'm a big steak fan, but it isn't good for your heart. It is not good for your colon. And it is not good for your testosterone levels, as well as contributing to both male and female pattern baldness. So that's something that you really should cut down on if you can. Not saying that part of that's not genetic, but yeah, you're definitely not doing yourself any favors up here if you're eating lots of red meats. Now pork isn't good because even if you cut all the fat off, it's still a really fatty meat. It's actually kind of hard for your body to digest it. And personally, I don't like eating anything that could easily be confused for the tissues of a dead human. That's why I'll never eat any monkeys. Now then, the meats that are actually good for you. Those would be fowl and fish. And those are going to be your two best options. Now we eat a lot of chicken in this house. And we eat a lot of turkey on our sandwiches. It's just what we do. And yes, we do eat sandwiches. We have bread, but we use bread that does not have gluten added to it. And that makes a difference. It actually does. Gluten's slim and digestible. So it creates lots of nasty little things that your body doesn't know what to do with and can get stuck in your colon.
Yeah, or like the bad yeast.
Or the bad yeast, yeah. Candida.
Candida, yeah.
Candida's bad.
Yeah.
You don't want candida.
This ties into like
Jesus.
what you could do detox from the food.
Yes, I know. My wife was mentioning the ionic detox foot baths that we used to do before Corona and when I had a lot more time on my hands. And it's a really interesting process because it uses negative ions generated inside of distilled water to pull toxins through the pores of your feet. You see, your feet have more pores on them than anywhere else on your body other than your face. And you can't sit with your face in the water for 30 minutes. Go ahead, try it. I dare you. But you can take your feet in there for 30 minutes. And within 30 minutes, all of the blood in your entire body will have gone through every single major organ and all of the tissues of your body. And by using those negative ions, you're able to pull out all sorts of crap. And once you learn what the different colors in the water, because it starts off clear, just a little bit of salt, but you're able to learn from all of the different colors, the different toxins that are being pulled out through the feet. Candida, straight up fat sometimes, liver bile, nicotine resin, heavy metals. I know there's more, but I can't remember everything right now. If you have somebody locally that does it, I suggest that you get into it. And if you live somewhere in northern Arizona, you can get a hold of me and I can do a session for you. I'm not wearing a mask when I come to your house.
Yeah, here it is.
Whew. Jeez. You know, another thing, pacing. Back when I was really heavy and I was starting to get into shape, I had to learn about pacing so that I wouldn't, you know, run 200 feet and then be completely out of air. So what my mom taught me was to sing or talk while you're doing it, because if you can continue to sing or talk, then you are not pushing your body hard enough to where you are going to gas yourself completely. And this was actually my trick for eventually getting to where I could run half marathon without having to worry about using my inhaler, which was a problem for a long time. But 1 year in high school, I just decided, nope, I'm going to get myself to where I don't need an inhaler anymore. I can run all day and not even feel like I'm gassed.
Your timer went off.
Oh, timer went off, almost out of time. So I got 2 minutes left, but I can't see my phone. Oh, she got the timer. Yay! So I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down so I can cool down. Because when you work out and you stress muscles, you get a buildup of something called lactic acid. And if you just come to a complete and total stop, it will get stuck in whatever muscle group you were just using the most. So it's very important to actually calm down, which is kind of hard for me, and let your body get back to a cool state. And what I'm going to do after this, because I just really worked the crap out of my legs, is I'm actually going to sit with them up against the wall to let the lactic acid get back out of them. Because I do not like shin splints. I do not like Charlie horses. I do not like pulled leg muscles. And it will actually contribute to being able to get a quicker recovery time after doing this. Whew. Holy crap, I'm pushing myself right now. So I really hope you guys have been enjoying this series. Tomorrow, I will do the link workout if our family that is here right now leaves. Otherwise, I'm going to do the bicycle again and try and talk about some health tips.
They're not leaving tomorrow.
Oh, they are planning on leaving tomorrow. Okay, well then it sounds like we are on for the Legend of Zelda Link workout that is part of this Body By Fandom series. And, whew, it is hard to go slow. Oh, time's up. Okay guys, have a good night.